Good morning. All right, today is January 10th, and we just had the NFP report, and we came all the way to the bottom of the range, hit the imbalance targets that I mentioned the other day, the 5909 and the 21,092. Now we're getting a little bit of a consolidation, and I turned on the 90-day and the 365-day profile because the 20-day profile ends right here with this low. So we're trading at the low of the range. So now what we have to do is we have to monitor to see if we can take these lows with an impulse and leave some single prints there to lean on to go short into this previous range. But if we fail to hold below this low, and I'm talking about both ES and NQ, then what should happen is that we should retest the higher side of the range again at the 60-50 area, right? Seems like we're trying to catch a bounce, but we have this huge move down, so we have to pay attention to how the market reacts to yesterday's range, right? Do we accept inside the range? Do we come back into value and start moving higher, or we keep seeing sellers in this area and then coming back below that low? So let's so that's pretty much what the thing is for today. So I'm gonna be looking at the low and then the yesterday's value area low, which for ES is at 59.40, and for NQ is at 295, and then above that, then we can see a little bit of a squeeze into the top of that value area, which for ES is at 59.61 and change, and for NQ is at 21,378 ish. And at that point, if you look at the longer term profile, we are gonna be trading in the middle of this range. So chances of us revisiting the higher side of the range are increased, right? If we do that value area sweep. And then the third scenario is that we just do nothing, or we just consolidate here and chop around and attempt to go higher, fail, attempt to go lower, fail, and just accept lower prices. Which that scenario would, in that scenario, if we start seeing that we are rotational, then we can look to fade the edges back to the point of control and the level where we see the most volume. Is there any other news today? Yes, there's Michigan sentiment at 10 a.m. Then there's some Fed speaking at 10:04, and some agricultural releases, corn, wheat, etc. And then total rig count for oil, which oil has been on a tear. It just exploded overnight after attempting a few times to break through that 200 moving average. Finally exploded. It's up almost 4%. And really, like, looking at the profile, like, we have all these untested highs, but we really don't have a spot where we like I can say, okay, well, this is where there was acceptance before. We have this high volume node here at 78, 50-ish. But you see how this profile is large and thin, and there's really not a spot where you say, okay, well, there's consolidation here. So you know, as long as it's one time framing up, then you know, just go with the trend, right? Until we don't see any signs of a reversal, just go with a larger time frame trend. And same thing with, well, not same thing, but similar with gold. It just came, it broke through those highs, and now it's I mentioned the other day that we're likely to see 2700, and we're now above that. The resistance is in this area at 2740. That's where resistance is. And then if we fail to keep moving higher, then the first spot to look for a reversal to target is 2690 right here. And then below that we have the 20-day point of control down here, which still hasn't shifted. But if we keep this move up, it could shift down up here to 2690. What else? I think that's pretty much it for today. End of the week, and next week we have inflation numbers, so PPI, CPI. So it could be that we just wait for those before we break away from this range. That we've been trading. So let's see what happens today, and good luck to everybody.